Today, we're going to go through how to use a microscope. Okay, so the first step is to make sure you're prepared. So if you're using oil immersion, you want to make sure you have the cleaning material readily available that you're going to need to clean the objective lens, clean the condenser lens. Also, if you're preparing your own slide, you want to make sure you have the cleaning material to be able to clean the slide after you're finished. You also want to make sure that you have the tools readily available to be able to prepare your slide. So if you have tweezers or something like that to help you place the slide cover slip over it, that's going to be perfect. You also, if there's any precautionary material like gloves or even a respirator or anything like that, if you're dealing with maybe a specimen that is potentially harmful, you want to make sure you have all that stuff prepared, laid out, and ready to go. You also want to make sure that before you even get started with the microscope, your slide is prepared and ready to go. So I'm going to be using a pre-prepared slide, so my slide is ready to go, and we're ready to start using the microscope. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is make sure your microscope is plugged in. So on the back, you'll see a port for the plug for the power source. The next thing we want to check is to make sure that the intensity is all the way down before we turn on the light source. Now we can turn on the microscope. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that the stage is in its lowest position, and we can turn the coarse adjustment knob counterclockwise to move it down to its lowest position. Then we want to make sure our objective that's in place is our lowest power objective. So that's going to be our 4x objective in this case. So this red one. And we want to make sure that that one is currently in place. So this is our scanning objective lens, and this is going to allow us to get sort of a high level view of our specimen and figure out what we're interested in and be able to zoom in on it. Okay, so the next step is we're going to put our slide in place here. So we're going to push it back until it kind of fits into that groove right there, and then we engage the stage clip. And then we can use our XY translational knobs to get it centered over the condenser lens. Now what we can do is use the coarse adjustment knob to start to bring our specimen in focus here. So I'm going to raise the stage until I start to see something. Okay. So now I'm starting to see something here. All right, so there is the leg. By the way, my pre-prepared slide is just a housefly leg here, so that's what you're seeing. So let's use our XY translational knob here. To kind of take a look around, and remember we're using our 4x objective, which in this case is going to be our scanning objective lens. So we're just sort of getting the lay of the land here. And so this looks pretty interesting. This is kind of the end of the housefly leg here. So this is kind of the piece that or the area that I want to focus on. So now what I can do is I can swing in my next highest power objective into place, and you can hear it click into place there. And now I've still got my specimen in the field of view, and now I just need to use my fine focus knob here. Actually, I'm turning it the wrong way. To get it into focus again here. There we go. And actually, you probably could have used coarse focus again on this 10x, but as you move up into the higher power objectives, you want to start using the fine focus. So again, I'm going to use the XY translational knob here to get it centered again in the field of view. And then I'm going to kick it up another notch here. And then we're going to go to the 40x objective here. And now I'm going to use the fine focus knob here to see if we can get it into focus. Oh yeah. So depending on kind of what you're interested in seeing here, you can focus on those specific things. You can also adjust the light intensity a little bit. And then even sometimes if you raise and lower the condenser, you focus that cone of light into the objective, and it can have a little bit of a different contrast. So this looks pretty good. So when we're finished, we can use the coarse adjustment knob here and turn it counterclockwise, and that will lower the stage back to its lowest level. You want to make sure that, especially when you're on these higher power objectives, that you're turning it the right way when you're using the coarse adjustment knob, because if you turn it the wrong way, it can actually damage the objective lens. Even though there's some of the higher powered ones are spring loaded, it can still cause some damage. And then once it's lowered, you can remove the slide by disengaging the stage clip and just sliding out the slide just like that. The next thing you want to do, now that we've got the stage in its lowest position, we just want to change the objective lens back to the lowest power objective lens for the next person so they can use it. Next, we can turn off the microscope, unplug it, put the cover on, and we're going to be good to go. If you prepared a slide, you're probably going to want to clean your slide off using lens paper and cleaning solution. But in my case, I've just got a prepared permanent slide, so I don't have to do any cleaning. So that was the basics of how to use a microscope. So those are kind of the best practices and things you'll learn in any sort of like college lab sort of environment. If you're still finding that you're having trouble with any of these steps or just need kind of troubleshooting tips, take a look at the article below and see if that helps you out.